you can see me all the way in the space where everything is just nothing. And I was here because I was supposed to be sent here for no apparent reason for their project. Yeah, I just was here just because I had to tell them about everything and the world would end soon or something like that. For some apparent reason, I have no idea why they forced me to be here, and I'm just stuck here all alone. So I have no idea how this is happening, so I don't know what's going on, and I just want to understand that everything is going to a planet. What are you doing, Mickey? Dude, what are you doing? It doesn't look like I'm doing another green screen bit. Why? Well, because I heard a news article or something like that on Twitter that this movie never used the green screen once. And by that, we're just gonna do it as a joke and just have a green screen there, because if they never did, now we're doing it. So what's that? It's night right now! We don't have the time to do this crap! And also, we gotta get this thing uploaded fast, so we're wasting everybody's time, and we gotta get this review on right now! Be fine, alright. This was interesting good, but you ruined it. That's not my fault, we gotta get this thing out pronto! Well, at least we're ready to start the review. Listen, I had to do it, okay? It was the right thing to do because it is night right now. We gotta get this review out without having it delayed, okay? People just don't understand quality nowadays. Quality? Reviews are never quality. Nobody even finds us entertaining. We just do them because that's pretty much our job now. We're pretty much journalists now, except none of the creativity we get, except for existing. I don't know. So, well, I might as well get it over with, so let's just get it on with it. At least I made it. Yeah, I guess so. Well, it's time to get it out of the way. It's time to get the obvious things, two things out of the way. No, I've never read the book. And two, I have seen The Martian, which I know that one of the directors. One of the producers, I think it was based on the book. It was kind of like a sequel to it. Successor to it or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. They always bring it up in the trailers. Besides the directors, the guys that made Spider-Man, produced Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse movies. We're still waiting on the third one, by the way. I think it's next year, but we all know that will never happen. And so, anyways, let's just get it out of the way. So here's our review of Project Hail Mary. I'm not gonna read the whole print thing because I kind of forgot. Full grace? I mean, that's all I know. Well, this one will be an interesting one for me to do because of how it is. So here's the story. Now, this might be confusing at first, but I'll try to explain it in the best way possible. But I'm not trying to explain all of it for reasons. It's literally, almost the whole movie is literally Ryan Gosling whose name is, what was his name again? Grace? Yeah, that was his name. He's usually just all alone because the others are dead. Really in the beginning, and because now he's the only one, and he decides to just swing by and just do every work himself, anyway, and somehow come across a giant spaceship that would want to do this, and afterwards he just just flew by and just it meets the only one, a Spider Rock, whose name is Rocky. Or something like that, and they help work together and just try to figure out how this whole thing works. How the whole thing works is one of those able things or whatever it's called, and then he decides to think about all this and just flies off to the west things. And with how the sun is eating the planets, there's something like Venus or something, which in the next 30 years there's just nothing like that. So anyways, what are my thoughts on the story? It's kind of weird that they went from flashbacks to flashbacks to how all this began leading up to the moment, to the beginning of the movie where it's just him, Ryan Gosling, all alone. And to be honest, I don't mind them, to be honest, because mostly if it was just that, if it was just showing all the flashbacks shown at the beginning, I feel like it would have been like, yeah, this movie is like 2.5 hours long, so I think that kind of would drag that. I think they made a good decision of having that flashbacks, because that would have kind of dragged on the first act, and when we get to like in space, that's when it gets good. But I think I didn't do that because they did it like individually, but not all the time. So I'm not explaining like everything what happened. It's mostly during the flashback. It's mostly just Ryan Gosling teaching the class. Someone just starts to ask them about it. Yeah, you gotta help with something about all this, like, because it's all your paper and some shit. And then afterwards it just flew by. And to be honest, and then he works with it and understands how it works. He knows that he should be in there with 2 random astronauts. And they died, so there's no point in me bringing them up. Yeah, and everything else is mostly just how this one's how it is, how his life is in Earth. But he doesn't really, how do I explain this? Spoiler, he never came back home, but he does recording a bunch of shit. But yeah, but they do see him in the end. Like, I don't know how long does it take, because obviously I see like their boat's just in the fucking Antarctica or some shit, so a little more than that happened, so whoops. Or something like that, I don't know. Or the opposite, or something, the Ice Age. Anyways, overall, I would say the story here, thank God I think it made him intriguing, the story intriguing. Again, I never read the book, so I don't know if it's accurate or some shit, but I have seen the Martian. But I have seen the Martian, so I know how it ends. And otherwise, he just saves them, and I honestly am okay with it. So, that's all I can say. It's just, overall, all I can say is it's just, the story here is just intriguing, and I enjoy it for that. And that's all I'm gonna say. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. So, yeah. Well, this one, I think it might be one of the most big ones that we're gonna be talking about, and it's the visual effects, because with one of the things did in the beginning of the review, it was messing up with the green screen. And one article I saw is that they never used the green screen or the blue screen once in the entire movie. And by the looks of it, it doesn't really show, unless it just show because of the space background. It doesn't really show that it might be, because I don't know how you do that without it. Unless they try to, for some shots, I can pretty assuming that's just hanging on a string or something, like regular all practical effects, which I think it has a high budget. But I honestly doubt it will do well at the box office unless we get word of mouth. But we got one big movie in a couple of days. So I really got something. I always think it will be appreciated how amazing the visual effects were, especially how Rocky, the spider rock, which is really a rock in shape it's really a rock. It looks like a spider as well. But you don't see the face. How the design is looks really unique, and we'll see how it is. And mostly, it doesn't really have a voice. He's just the translator kind of does it, but gave him the voice, but it's not really. It was for the majority of the movie, but you'll honestly get the picture by now. But one of the most memorable scenes in the whole movie, all I gotta say is, I don't know if I would really count this as a spoiler if they showed it in the trailer, but I'll just say it just in case spoilers. But when they see a planet that's just, I think they call it Adrian, and you see it's green and orange. Mostly green and orange. That feels like a wallpaper to have. And when they were trying to absorb it, it just sealed the red stuff on it. And also, see Ryan Gosling just explain it with phrase, which, to be honest, this was obviously the best scene in the whole movie. And there's also one of the best ones, also a brilliant thing for the visual effects. It's also the spoiler in the end, the third act is where Ryan Gosling gets to go inside the ship. And that kind of explains everything, how it works. So overall, all I gotta say is mostly just, I really got nothing else to say because I don't really know if they actually use green screen. Also, with how the CG is, I don't even know if they did use CG for the spider rock, unless they did use it for some shots and some practical shots. Like actual animatronics puppets, like we're doing with Grogu in the in the movie that I'm working on, Star Wars. And to be honest, I really have nothing else to say because I don't know. But with the theory of them not using green screen and blue screen, I don't know how they do that, because how do you even replicate a space background? Like how does that even work? Like, there you can just do it without it and just do the shadings and call it a day. But this one, it's just you don't have it, and that's honestly shocking to see. So I can actually give it some credit for that, and that's kind of like the highlight that she get nominated for an Oscar for best visual effects with how they do it. So, and overall, all I can say is that the visual effects are amazing. You all should definitely actually be watching this in IMAX. I never did because our theater does not have IMAX, so large screens is all you get. So, yeah. But that's all I can pretty much say about it. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I can say. So, overall, visual effects are pretty damn nice, to say the least. Okay, this might be a little confusing for the both of us to do, but this might be one of the rarest things we've ever done. The characters. And by that, I only mean 2 characters throughout the entire damn movie. Almost the majority. There are like some of the stuff, I know there's some of the characters from the flashbacks, but what's the point of even talking about them? They're not really there because the main focus is Ryan Gosling and the Spider-Rock. So we're gonna be talking about one of them individually. If you want really our thoughts on the other characters, I'll just say this. The girl, I don't even know that wants him to do all this. She's fine, but spoiler, she does see the messages, so good for them. Go for her. Like I just tried to, like I was trying to understand how all this works. You know, he needs to get the hang of it. He's fine. He's just there. And then some two guys are in one guy and one girl in the spacesuit, which is the pilot and the engineer. Yeah, they're really dead. So, and they just did a suicide mission or something. Like, but we're gonna suffer anyways. We're gonna stay there and die of starvation and slow, painful death. Kind of like our life. So, anyways, they're just there. So, anyways, just get those. They just exist. They're not really there important, but and for the flashback exist. But mostly the main deal is just those 2. So, I'm gonna talk about Ryan Gosling, aka Grace. So, I just kind of keep calling him because I kind of keep forgetting Grace. So, he's pretty much. He can do this can show that Ryan Gosling can do a movie on his own. Almost do a movie on his own because of how he is, where he is at, and how all this shit works. Let me explain. With how everything is going with the in space, all alone with the other passengers, others are dead. You're on your own. You're pretty much stuck there for the rest of your life and trying to understand how this works. And yeah, all I can basically say is, yeah, he is pretty much one of the best character, probably the only best character besides The Rock, but and he's pretty much the highlight of the whole movie because he can do everything on his own, especially even talking to a fucking rock, and that's pretty much what I can safely say. I was like, this deserves an Oscar nomination for him. I know he has one for Barbie, but he didn't win, so. I think he was nominated. That's why they promoted that. But to be honest, this should have him win. We don't know how the rest of the year is gonna go. Like, we're still gonna have like stuff of them, so we don't know how this will go. But for this one, he deserves the Oscar for Best Actor. This is the one that will make Ryan Gosling win an Oscar, and I'm going to be happy when that happens in 2027. If it will still get a crap about the Oscar. So now let's talk about the Spider Monkey. You do it now. Okay, for the Spider Monk, the Spider Rock, that's what I was trying to say, who is named Rocky in the movie because Ryan Gosling gave him the name, and we'll see. When we saw the trailer, they didn't really show much of him, of the Rock, in the trailer at all. Only like the first trailer, and they didn't do nothing else. It was just mostly about Ryan Gosling in space. That's it. And to be honest, I think I made the right decision not to do it because I was kind of spoiled at how the whole. For anybody who's read the book, they'll probably know about it. But for us that never read it, this kind of actually is a brilliant marketing tool. Never bring up the Spider Rock for like a little bit. You don't even tell them what it does. Yeah, it's not gonna be like one of those Alien movies that we got with Romulus and the OG one, because those are like the only two movies, alien movies I saw, the original and Romulus. But you know, they're both good. I like the OG more, but you know, and this one is just supposed to see how everything of the Spider Rock is and how he talks. He's actually smart, dude, and he's like the only one left because everyone else is dead. Yeah, just like Ryan Gosling's boards and how everything goes, and he actually does have his own home, which, spoiler, in the end, both Ryan Gosling and Rocky stay there, so, move there. Yeah, that's what I assumed, or, I don't know, with how the beach looks in the ending, but, you know. So, for the Spider Monkey, I think he's pretty much one helpful character. He's not like one of those like, oh, I'm just gonna be evil. I'm just gonna be evil now. I thank God they didn't do that. This was just like one of those. And this people, you don't need a face. You can just have expressions with how it's designed and how it's moving, and it can actually show how amazing the Spider Rock is. So that's pretty much all I can say. It's just overall the Spider movie is good. Yep, pretty much. So overall, all these two characters are pretty much actually really the best. Actually, rarely, we have almost every character that I like is actually amazing. With some enemies, but that's so. Yeah, this actually, was a rare one where it's just two characters. There, it somehow can hold up the whole movie for the next 2.5 hours. Besides the others that are just there for flashbacks, but this one is actually just shows that this one works. Like, these characters are pretty much make the film, and their acting as well. Especially Ryan Gosling, he needs an Oscar for this. So overall, give Ryan Gosling the Oscar, boys. Bosses. You know, I just realized something. What is it? For a movie released right now is themed in space, and we 2 weeks later we got another one themed in space, and in a month later we got another one themed in space. Is the 2026 the year of space? Kind of like 2014? I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. But overall, out of all the space movies we have right now, this is like the first one, because I know we have another one at like 2 weeks, which I will probably take over the box office. But overall, Project Hail Mary, as someone who's never read the book, this is absolutely amazing. One of the best movies we've seen so far. Well, I kind of enjoyed it more than Hoppers. Even though I enjoy Hoppers for it's funny, but I don't. Yeah, but it does make up for everything else. The story is intriguing by having it in flashbacks and not dragging this shit out. You know, the visual effects are amazing, and Ryan Gosling and the Spider Monkey actually make the film. With just these two characters. So, yeah, I would say, will this do well at the box office? I want this to do well. But we all know what's coming out in 2 weeks. That shit will get obliterated just fast afterwards. He'll get 2 weeks of fame, and then afterwards he'll just move on to another space-themed movie, which you all know which one it is. I don't even need to say it. Yeah, I know there's also another one in May, but we're not there yet. So, anyways, the overall, I would recommend this to everybody. This is my recommendation. Fucking watch the damn movie. This is one of the best movies of the year, and so far, and I'm actually you want this to do well. Yeah, Ryan Gosling needs an Oscar for this, and I would say, and the best recommendation is science teachers should watch this. I recommend science teachers to watch this movie so they can show it during class, whenever the hell is on Amazon Prime. When you think about science teacher, when it's talking about space or some shit, they do that. So if any science teacher does somehow watching this review, first of all, why are you watching this? And second of all, if you actually are watching it, comment below and just say, hi, I'm a comment below if you actually are one, and somehow found my damn review about it, and for some reason, you haven't clicked off yet. I'm like shocked. But I congratulate you for actually sitting through this, but yeah, you science teachers, play this movie at your class. I'm not joking, do it. So anyways, my verdict for this thing, I'm giving it a fucking 10 out of 10. I'm like dead serious. So this is actually the best film that we have so far. I like them on the Hoppers. Even though we only did what? Even wait, this is probably the best film I've seen in a while. That's all I can say. So what do you think? I love it. Perfect. So now, I guess it's over now. Yeah, I guess so. So this means I'm going back to my green screen. We need to go back over there. Really? We're still doing this crap? Alright, again, it is so green screen. We don't need it. What could possibly go wrong with him doing another green screen bit? Wow, look at me. I'm back in space. Wow, look at all these beautiful colors, and everything is still moving. Anybody asking how am I breathing? Don't leave a question about our lives. We're just made out of paper. That's how I am. So I can probably just see everything here, and everything in this beautiful. Wait, is that a spaceship walking by? Interesting. Whoever's on this, I would love to hope that you all come in peace and not try to destroy us in the end for saying anything negative about your kind, but with how everything's going, I'm sure everything will work out great. And now I must go back to my ship, so I will see you in space, and whoever is in there, take care.